that's in the movies.
And the books, but in reality, the mafia has been a ruthless and lawless presence in Kansas City for decades. Now, last night in his series on the Kansas City Mafia, Larry Blunt showed us how the mob has left its mark on the city and how it continues to be a criminal force. Tonight, Larry looks at today's reputed mob leaders. And Larry, the name so commonly attached to the mob in Kansas City is Civella.
That's right, Phil. In years past, in testimony before Senate committees on organized crime, federal authorities have constantly named the Civellas as the head family in the Kansas City mob. Over the years, there have been many reputed mob leaders in Kansas City. Big Jim Ballesteri may have been the first. He was followed by several others. But it was Nick Civella who may have had the largest impact on the mob in Kansas City.
Nick Civella, a family man. But the FBI says he was much more than a husband and a father. In Kansas City, you might say he was the godfather.
In Kansas City, Mr. Civella in his world was all-powerful.
But you don't ask for respect. You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me Godfather.
The Godfather, a fictional movie, but federal authorities I talked to say it was very close to reality. In fact, comparisons of the Godfather character can be made to Nick Civella. Former FBI agent Bill Owsley supervised the squad against organized crime in Kansas City.
He was very much like that person. He had that same temperament and astuteness, and was a person who had his own code, his own concept of honor, and he was a person who could be reasonable. Nick Civella was a formidable opponent in a sense.
Nick Civella died in 1983, but his death did not mean the death of the mafia in Kansas City.
Mr. Civella?
The man reputed to be Kansas City's top mob boss now is Anthony Civella, nephew of Nick Civella. He's under indictment for allegedly diverting $1 million in prescription drugs for resale. I tried to get Anthony Civella to talk to me.
Any chance that you might grant us an interview?
None.
You sure? We won't talk about anything that's going on with your life right now. I'm kind of looking back at the past.
No. Nothing.
Why not?
I got nothing to say.
Neither Civella or his attorney would talk. Civella's reputed underboss is Peter Simone. I went to Simone's house, but after repeated efforts, he couldn't be reached. Simone owns some of the video poker machines seized by federal agents in a raid earlier this year. He and 5 employees are under indictment for running an illegal gambling operation.
The operators, the owners of these modified machines have rigged them in such a fashion that it is very difficult for the individual to win. And it is also tax-free money to the operator of the machine and the bar owner.
Anthony Civella has already served more than 3 years in prison for racketeering and bookmaking. His son, Vince Civella, is in prison for refusing to talk about mob activity in Kansas City. But he's not alone. Besides Civella, there are 10 other men in prison for contempt, meaning they won't testify. These are men who are related to or acquainted with reputed mafia members. They are not charged with any crime. They just refuse the judge's order to talk. U.S. Attorney Gene Bradshaw has been accused of picking on Italian Americans.
Yeah, we didn't just drive down the street and pull people off the street with Italian American names and say, well, you must know something about the mob, come in and talk to us. We have reasons for choosing these particular people. That is because we have reason to believe, through information we've gathered, that they have knowledge of criminal activity.
Now, the jailing of the men who refused to testify has caused an outcry here in Kansas City. A group called BASTA, which is Italian for enough, says Italian Americans are being unfairly targeted. Members of BASTA, even their official spokespeople, refused to be interviewed for this series because the series deals with the mafia. There are many Italian Americans who are very sensitive about anything having to do with the mafia. Tomorrow we'll look into why they are.
Meanwhile, Anthony Civella goes to trial soon, doesn't he?
That's right, Phil. Anthony Civella is scheduled to go to trial on December 2nd. For now, he is out on bond, and his reputed underboss, Peter Simone, is also out on bond under the condition that he not have contact with Anthony Civella.
We'll look forward to your report tomorrow, Larry. Good work. Thank you. And
Ladies and gentlemen, Kansas City.